Hey, YouTube is Goddess, and I'm gonna give a whole rant about the Queen's Court. So I watched all 10 episodes of Queen's Court on Peacock, and it was very lackluster for me. So I'm gonna start with talking about Evelyn first, and then Tamar, and then Nivea. So let's start with Evelyn. Evelyn, you already know Evelyn is from Basketball Wives. You know she was dating some prominent people, and prominent people in the industry. So that's where she's from being on Basketball Wives. And on the show, I didn't get why everybody was chasing after Evelyn because she's not interesting. She's not fun. She's very cut dry. She wasn't really having real deep conversations with people on the show. All these men were like really like interested. She had like five guys in the house after her at one point. I was just like, what the hell? And she really is not nice. And she was reverting a little bit back to her Basketball Wives ways, like with a couple of the men that were in the house. She was getting into it with them based on they said one little thing she didn't like. She was like, "You gotta go home." I was just like, I didn't like that about her or Tamar. Like, time someone said one little thing, they would jump out of proportion, out of proportion things, and I'm just like, why are you jumping to conclusions and jumping like crazy about stuff? Like, I'm not understanding that. That's crazy to me. Like, she was just doing a little bit too much, and I didn't really find like I just really didn't like her, and I didn't really find her genuine. Even though she was a whole lot better than she was on Basketball Wives, I just didn't find her like really interesting or genuine, and I didn't really kind of like her on the show, and I didn't get why so many people were after her. Like she was very lame to me. I just didn't like her like that. She was alright on the show. She wasn't that bad, but she was trying to like act like she was like, you know, and act all innocent and stuff, and she was like killing me. I was like, girl, bye. She was getting on my nerves. I couldn't stand her. I was just like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing, ma'am? I couldn't deal with her. She was killing me. But at the end, she picked Levon. And he was nice. I liked him because he was different from what she usually picks. He was really sweet. He bought her like I like that gift that he got her, where he had the butterflies inside the box waiting for her. And when she opened it, she saw the butterflies. It was so sweet. I said, "Oh." It was so cute. I like that. That was like a really thoughtful gift, and he was really really sweet and a nice guy. And I think he has money or something. Why she picked him too. Like she ain't fooling me. She ain't fooling me. So Queen's Court was lackluster. I do like the format or how they did it and about the whole way how they eliminated people and how they did it or whatever. But I just didn't like Evelyn or Tamar because they would take everything out of proportion and get rid of people for no apparent reason, just based off of a misunderstanding and stuff, and get real heated about the stupidest stuff, and it wasn't even that serious. And I was just looking at them like they are so weird. And let's go to Tamar. Now Tamar is very interesting. Now she had a couple of guys that were pining after her. Like she had like at the beginning like five or six guys that were pining after her as well. They were so into her and wanted her. Then like people say little things like people that weren't even like love interests of her. They would be like either Evelyn's love interest or like a love interest for Nivea, and she just legit would be like, they need to go because you ain't finna talk to me like that. You need to freaking go. That's why she ended up with just one person towards the end, and she didn't have that many options at the end because she was just like getting rid of people so freaking quick for the stupidest reasons. And the guy that she ended up with was JR, and I just feel like JR's okay, but my whole thing is how he wait all the way to like towards the end, like episode 9, to show you the real JR though. Jeremy, like show Jeremy the person he is instead of just JR, which he made it seem like JR is a persona or something, and that Jeremy's the real him. And I'm just like, so how are you gonna pick him? And then the whole time she was confused about whether she's gonna pick him every episode. And then at the end, he asked her to marry him, and she was like yes. And then she talked about she was in love with him, but when he originally said he was in love with her, she was like, oh, I don't know what to say. And she was acting like she didn't even want to, like she really wasn't feeling him like that, and she was acting like she was confused. So then I was just like, ma'am, 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 what are you doing? Okay, like make up your mind. I'm like, how you all of a sudden in love with him, but then you were acting like a episode ago, like you didn't know what to do and you wasn't really like you were liking him, but you were like confused about whether you were feeling him or not. And then you were acting all confused and stuff. And I'm like, girl, bye. That's what I'm saying with her. I can't deal with her. I can't deal with her. Tamar was just Tamar. I said Tamar. Tamar, she was just killing me, and then the way she was acting, like every time someone would say something she didn't like, she would get rid of them, and then they weren't even love interest for her. They were love interest for Nivea or love interest for Evelyn. Getting rid of people's options just because she's childish and she get mad about the stupidest stuff. I'm like, and then she got into it with one of Nivea's love interests, and he was just stating like, remember when you said that thing about money? And she literally said what he said, but then she claimed she didn't say, and she did say that. I'm just like, so you saying things you can't remember what you say, and then you calling him everything, and then call him a lie and get him kicked off the show. But she did say that. So I was just like, see, and then she ended up, she's with JR, but my whole thing is she's getting into scandals and getting into drama. And from what I'm seeing, his baby mom or whatever does not like Tamar and says that she's faking for TV and that she ain't no good for his children. She really do not like Tamar at all. And I'm just like, ma'am, you making it seem like you're the greatest person in the world with his kids, and come to find out the mother of his kids do not really like you like that. So my whole thing with her is, but you know how Tamara is. She's a person about facades, and she be putting up on a front and acting like she's so down and she's so cool and all of that. And she changed, but she haven't changed because look what you seen. The baby moms is coming for her, and then she just came for Candy Burris. And she done win some drama with her, exaggerating, just like she exaggerated on the show, acting like this and acting like that. Like she was killing me. I couldn't do it. Her and Evelyn was just irritating. I didn't like neither one of them. And Evelyn, that's another thing I forgot about Evelyn is Evelyn kept bringing up the Chad Ochocinco situation, and then brought up her ex that she originally got on Basketball Wives for, and I didn't like that because she's like, oh, Chad and the abuse, he was gonna kill me. That's why I ended it. And it's just like, girl, the story was that he headbutted you in a car, and that's why y'all ended. So what about you saying that you couldn't, that you thought he was gonna kill you and all this other stuff? And I'm just like, she is being extra, and she brought that up a bunch of times in like the beginning episodes of the show, Queen's Court. She kept bringing that up and like acting like she was about to cry about it, which is understandable. She did go through something traumatic, but my whole thing about it is like, your friend Jen tried to warn you about him, and you got so mad at her, and you almost beat her up. You were throwing bottles at her, really coming at her for being 100 and real as a friend about him, and how she wasn't with it, and you got all mad at her, and look, it blew up in your face, and now look. Mm-mm. You messed up a good relationship based off of you wanting to be delusional. You didn't want to be told the truth. Evelyn is something else. Tamar is too. She's a drama queen. That whole thing that she just did with Candy, lying on Candy and lying on Candy's husband, claiming that he threatened her and that JR had to get in his face and couldn't get in. I'm just like, girl, bye. Candy's husband did not threaten you. When someone say you know what it is, you already know what it is. When someone say that to you, majority of the time they trying to say you already know what's the situation. You already know why she mad, and he was going to get his wife as well. Like, you know what it is. It's not no threat to nobody. That just means you know what's up. You know what the situation is. You know why she mad. That's what it is. So you know what it is. Like, don't come acting brand new. That's basically what that means. That's not a threat. So if she's full of it and she's very sensitive and she takes things out of proportion, talking about, oh, it's a threat. That's not a threat. Someone saying you know what it is not a threat. You know, I'm from NYC, I'm from New York City, and we have multiple different slangs and lingos. And depending on where you come from, what's up, what's good means something different. What up, what's good? You know, that means how you doing, what it is, what's good, what's up, how you doing? You know, same thing. So my whole thing is, yeah, she took that totally out of proportion, just like she did the situation with Nivea's person, and she acted a fool. So yeah, I can't mess with you. And my favorite, Nivea was my favorite. She was my girl. She was my favorite, and she didn't pick nobody in the end. But the only thing about her that got on my nerve during the season was the fact that she kept sexualizing everything and made everything a joke about something about sex. But when you watch the show later in the episodes, you come to find out that she does that a lot, just out of habit. That's how she interacts with people, and she don't feel like she's worthy of people to love her for who she is. So she does that a lot. She sexualizes stuff to make things a joke and stuff, and like that's why I feel like she didn't have so many people taking her serious. And even the guys that she had as her top two contender, Ty and Mac, they weren't even taking her serious. They were acting like they were trying to pass her around or something. Like they weren't treating her good. And the way they were like acting about her is like they fell back, and like what they would hang out with her, they would like kind of hang out with her together, like as if like I don't know, like they were in a three-way relationship or something. It was very like in the like it was very weird. And then like she was getting irritated, but if she would have never started off making everything a joke about sex, I feel like she would have had better chances of getting other things, and then they probably would have treated her a whole lot better. Because towards the end, they started acting like they had common sense and wanted to show who they were. And I feel like Mac waited too late to show who he was, and then Ty was not interested in her beyond just probably sleeping with her. Like he really was not trying to be with her, no relationship, and he was just so full of it to me. Like he was giving her massages. That's the only thing he cared about, was putting his hands on her body and touching her. He was not trying to talk about future. And every time he would ask him stuff, her friends were asking her stuff. It was not making no sense at all. I just feel like I was happy that Nivea didn't pick neither one of them, because they both were for her, and it just seemed like the way they were going about like talking to her, and how they weren't showing that they were like into her like that. They weren't giving her gifts, and when they were messing with her, they would just like Ty would like grab her up and be like, it was like all about sex to him. To me, it wasn't nothing no deeper. And then Mac, he was getting deeper with her, but it was too late. By the time he started getting deeper with her, she wasn't sure about either one of them. So I was happy that she didn't pick them. And I love Nivea. Like she has like such a great personality. She's like really like emotional, and she's just like be pretty, and she's in touch with herself, and she's a good friend, and she's just like fun and funny, and everybody got along with her in the household. And she's just a person that just wants to be loved and understood and like respected, like for her. And like I hope if they do Queen's Court that they bring her back. But this time when if they bring her back, like she just does it like, the only thing I respect about Evelyn and Tamar was the way they went about how they approached the men in the house and how they acted and stuff. I respected them for how they went about it, because the men were really fighting over them. And even Nivea liked some guy, and he met her friends, but then he was more into Evelyn, and Evelyn wasn't even into him. So I didn't even understand. It's like you met her friends, her best friends, Nivea's best friends, but then you didn't want to really be with her. You wanted Evelyn, and Evelyn wasn't even into him. So I was just like, he was killing me. But yeah, that's my feelings about Queen's Court. It was a pretty okay show. I like the format, how they went about eliminating people and things like that. But I did not like Evelyn. I did not like Tamar. And it's just funny how the most meanest people got men at the end. And then Nivea ended up just being alone and being single again, because the guys, the prospects, due to like how she wasn't getting serious prospects and things like that. So it was pretty interesting show, and I hope they come out with another season. But next time, do not release the season already and place it on Peacock, and also do not be having the contestants showing like the outcome early on, like who they still dating and things like that, and having them on pictures on social media, like telling people the answer to it, so that it stops people from wanting to watch it. I watch all 10 episodes in 24 hours because they already had it available on Peacock. So Like, comment, subscribe. What do you think about Queen's Court? Because it was lackluster to me. It could have been so much better, so much more if they would have had better people in there. Like if they wanted to pick Tamar or Evelyn, I would have enjoyed it even more and more. Like somebody else different than that needed help, then it'd have been even more interesting. But it was just lackluster to me. That's my rant, and that's just my review of the show. Totally and kind of like a rant, but not really a rant. Excuse me. And like, comment, subscribe, and this is Goddess. And talk to y'all later. Bye, YouTube.